I'm sharing my screen again. And these are, I mean, this is really detailed. Really detailed. So once again, we're still talking about accents, but this time we're talking about with the demonstrative adjectives versus the demonstrative pronouns. A demonstrative adjective is this, that, these, those, but it's modifying a noun. This house, that house, these houses, those houses. An adjective always modifies a noun, or a noun somewhere there is implied. Okay, and the demonstrative is the this, that, these, and those. And it's the adjective because it's modifying, house. Okay. So in Spanish, sometimes you see the demonstrative, because it can be a demonstrative adjective as well as a demonstrative pronoun. You sometimes see it with an accent, but be careful. When it's a demonstrative adjective, you never use an accent, never. Esta casa, you do not put an accent, never, ever, 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 never put an accent. When it is a demonstrative pronoun, so instead of saying this house, you say this, knowing that you're talking about house. When instead of saying that house, you say that, knowing that you're talking about what subject you're talking about. So it's this, that, these, and those, but now it's a pronoun versus an adjective. According to the Royal Academy of the Spanish Language, it is not necessary to put an accent, but it is not incorrect. It isn't necessary, but it's not incorrect. Okay. That is getting too much into the weeds, so I'm going to leave that alone. And there's no exception to the rule. Accents are never placed on neuter. This is one of the few things in Spanish that's neither masculine or feminine, but it's never placed on neuter pronouns. A neuter pronoun would be esto, esos, aquello in the singular. Interrogative pronouns, como, cuando, quién, when it's interrogative. When it's not interrogative, there is no accent. ¿Cómo me lo dices? How can you tell that to me? Okay, when it's interrogative. Only when it's interrogative. When it's not interrogative, okay, there is no accent. But when it's interrogative, como, and if you notice, it's placed where it would be normally placed even without the accent. Como? ¿Dónde? ¿Cuál? Okay, I want to go back to como. Como could either mean how, or sometimes in English, what. It depends. ¿Dónde? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuándo? ¿Cuándo pasó? When did it happen? ¿Cuánto? How much or how many? Whether it's in front of a countless or non-countable or countable, not countless, non-countable or countable noun. And when it's in front of a countable noun, it agrees with the noun. Okay. You hear people say, "Ike," that's rather rude. That means, and so what? So what? Okay. And quién, who? Or a quién, de quién, would be in English, whom. Now, to end this basic Spanish pronunciation, I put the accent in the incorrect placing of the accent. I incorrectly placed the accent to show you how different it would sound. In the parentheses, it's the word correctly spelled, with or without the accent. But outside, I put the accent in a place where it's not supposed to be. So the correct word is calle. But if you put the accent, you know, willy-nilly, because you want to put an accent, because you think it's fancy or exotic, the pronunciation would be different. Now, here it is. The correct pronunciation, calle. With the accent incorrectly placed, calle. Correct pronunciation is denle, which means like ustedes, give it to him. Incorrectly, denle, denle, denle. Here, it's not placed incorrectly, it's just not necessary. It would be considered wrong because it's the next to the last syllable, which is the first syllable. Jueves, el jueves, which means Thursday, right? You don't need an accent because that's where the accent is supposed to go. That's the natural place, so an accent would be incorrect. And remember, if you are in doubt whether or not to put an accent, do not put the accent. Here, let me see if I can do this right. Imagen versus imagen. Imagen is the correct pronunciation. Imagen is the incorrect pronunciation. Redondo is the correct pronunciation. Redondo is the incorrect pronunciation because I put an accent there. And so it tells me that this word does not follow the rule. It does. And it tells me that the accent is at the end of the word. No, it's not. It's in the next to the last syllable. Okay, so el tribu, tribu. So here they both have accents, but in the parentheses, the correct accent is album. The incorrect, where I put it over the U instead of the A, is album. Two different words. One word makes sense because it exists in the language, has an accent. The other word also has an accent, but over the wrong letter, and it makes no sense because that word doesn't exist. Okay, let's see. Dirán, which is the future tense of the verb to say. Diré, dirás, dirá, diramos, dirán. Or, and the accent is correct in the parentheses where dirán is incorrect. Facil, fácil. Parentheses, correct. The other, the word facil, fácil is incorrect. Facil versus fácil. Sometimes it's hard to put the, you know, because I'm used to hearing it one way and to say it another sounds funny. Okay, so we're talking about written accents in Spanish. Accents in Spanish are very, very important. But that's all under the rubric of basic Spanish pronunciation. So we're looking at all the different ways, exceptional ways, and some ways that are very different from English, how Spanish is pronounced. That's it for basic Spanish pronunciation. I might have some other cards, but it talks about other things other than accents or other than vowels, strong vowels, weak vowels. So this is Coralla Ficklin McLean at welcome, WYLCOME, welcome.com. Thank you for visiting my videos, my videos. on looking at my videos and visiting my sites and my YouTube channels, because I have 2 YouTube channels. Thank you. And if this has been at all helpful, I would appreciate if you would subscribe. Thank you. And have a good day. Bye-bye.